welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to take apart an airbrush and how to put it back together and how to clean it. I've noticed that on YouTube there's not that many videos showing how to take a portable airbrush apart and putting it back together and what happens if this happens or that happens. So I'm gonna show you today. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just take this right here apart. We're gonna remove the airbrush itself from the compressor, which is this part right here. We're just gonna go ahead and put the compressor aside. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and grab a bowl, and you see there's not that much alcohol in it, but just enough so when I put the pieces in here they can just soak and, you know, kind of get covered in there. So I like to go ahead and grab a bowl with alcohol and just put it aside right here, and get some napkin just to have it there just in case any spills happen. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this end here off like so, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the alcohol. The next part is this one right here, and again put that in the alcohol. After that, we are gonna go ahead and remove this little piece here, also in the alcohol. And then gently you're gonna go ahead and slide your needle out. You want to be very careful with your needle. The needle is very important. And as you saw, it popped, my trigger fell out. You want to be careful not to do that, but if it does happen, it's fine. We're gonna be able to put that back in. Just you want to make sure that you know how your trigger was on before it popped off. So take a picture of your airbrush before so that you know how to put it back on. The next part I take off is the tank. You could clean this apart or put it in there. I clean that apart. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the tip, and the tip has another tip inside of it, and those are gonna go in there too. And then you're left with your base, and you could put your base in there too. I'm just gonna let it, you know, soak in there. We're gonna let it soak for a couple of minutes, and then I'll be right back. Okay, they've been soaking for a few minutes now. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and grab the brushes and needle parts that I have gotten from the airbrush when I bought it. And these tools are actually really great because they come in a bunch of different sizes and they fit in different places and things like that, so it's amazing. So the first thing I do is I go ahead and I grab the bigger brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab this plastic here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and scrub everything on the inside here and on the other side. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and put it aside on the napkin so that I can dry. And I'm just gonna do that for every piece here. Just make sure that I can clean that. And again, you want to be gentle with this. You don't want to be too rough or anything like that. See this small one? I'm just gonna go ahead and dip it in the alcohol and run it in there to try to get it nice and clean. And you can see the brush in there. Okay, put that aside. This one you don't really need to do too much. So that's the end. trigger here. Make sure you clean in there, because that's where the needle pulls in and out of. And your nozzle. I'm gonna get a little bit of a thicker one here. Go back to that smaller one. So you want to try to get these brushes in and clean every crevice, but also, as you can see, there's little washers on here. You want to make sure that you don't pop those out of place or lose them. And last but not least, we have our needle. And with the needle, again, you want to be very careful, because if you don't have a replacement needle that actually fits your airbrush, you're going to have a hard time finding a replacement needle for portable airbrushes from Amazon. I had bent my needle a little bit, which is why there's like little crimps. Let's see if I can focus there. You can see the tip, there's like little crimps on it because I had to straighten it out myself. So you just want to do this gently. Make sure you don't bend that needle. Okay. All right, that's done. We're gonna go ahead and put the alcohol on the side. And I'm gonna pull all of our pieces over here. Just gonna go ahead. All right. Now, just gonna put these aside. These are also really good if you have clogs and stuff when you're cleaning it out. There's different sizes to be able to stick it through whatever piece you need to stick it through. Now, if you're going to buy an airbrush, I would suggest buying an airbrush that has replacement needles attached with, like, in the bundle. Because if you don't, like I said, I've been having a hard time trying to find a needle that actually fits this airbrush. I have the 0.3, which is what this needle says is the size. And then I bought 0.2. Neither of these fit because the thickness of them is much thicker than this specific needle, and it doesn't go past this base here. So anyway, let's get back to what we're doing here. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and just put my pieces back together that go together. So sorry, this piece goes with the nozzle, so we're just gonna go ahead and place that there, and we can go ahead and tighten that on. And again, you want to make sure that the washers that were on there are still on there, and you want to hand tighten this. You don't want to over tighten, because then you're going to have a hard time taking it off. After that, we're going to go ahead and find our trigger and make sure that it is in, that we put it in the right way. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you here. If you can see that little round spot, the bottom of your trigger is a little ball. So that little area, that little round hole, is where your trigger is going to go. So you want to make sure that you put this in the right way. So my trigger goes in this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and place it in the hole. Then I'm gonna gently let my lever go. If you let it go too hard, it's gonna push the trigger back out. So after that, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my needle, and I'm gonna go ahead and push it in here and slide it in. It should slide in with minimal to no pushback. If you do have pushback and you feel like the needle isn't going in, it's because your trigger is out of place and you need to fix your trigger to push the needle in. You don't want to force the needle in, because if you're trying to force it, you're gonna end up bending your tip and you're gonna ruin the needle, because these needles are very, very delicate. So you don't want to force it in. If you're having issues, it's not going in, something is wrong, just take the needle out and then refix the trigger, look at it, see what's going on. But 9 out of 10 times, if the needle isn't sliding in, it's because your trigger is out of place. So needle should slide right in. Once that's in, we're gonna go ahead and grab our small piece, which is this one right here. We're gonna go ahead and tighten this on here, like so. And again, we're gonna hand tighten this. There we go. Not too tight, not too loose either. Hand tight. And then I like to go ahead and pull my trigger just to make sure that everything is good and in place. My trigger isn't falling out. My needle is popping in and out the way it's supposed to. As you can see, if you forget to put this piece in and you pull that trigger, the needle is gonna pop back and it's not gonna go back in. So you wanna make sure that you don't forget to put this piece on. After this piece, you're gonna go ahead and grab your plastic piece here. You're gonna slide this on. And last but not least is your fluid control. And we're gonna twist that on. And again, this has a washer, so you wanna make sure that the washer is on there. And then, last but not least, your tank. Now, when it comes to having your airbrush, I personally use mine for nails because I do nails. What I have noticed is you can use acetone to help clean out in between colors. But as far as cleaning, when you take it apart, you can use it on the metal pieces, but you can't use it on these plastic pieces. So like this, the fluid nozzle, which is this, and this part here, that's plastic. And as you know, acetone melts plastic, and you don't want to melt these pieces and then have them warped or not work at all. And then you have pieces like this right here, this black piece right here, which is also plastic. And if you put this in a bowl with acetone, it's gonna eat these plastic pieces, and then you're gonna have, you know, some issues with your triggers and your airbrush and things like that. So you want to make sure you don't do that. So after we put all of these pieces back and we put them together and you have your airbrush ready, what I personally like to do is I like to go ahead and reattach it back onto my compressor. Like so. Then I turn it on and I pull my trigger all the way back. And what I'll also like to do is I like to get some airbrush cleaner. I personally use this one. You can get this off of Amazon, and I'll add it onto my bowl here. I'm sorry, my tank. And then I'll just spray it out. And again, I like to pull my trigger all the way back so that I'm getting as much air out, and I'm opening the nozzle as much as possible to make sure that I'm cleaning everything out. So that is how you take apart and put back together your airbrush, portable airbrush from Amazon. And if you guys have any other questions that you'll like to ask or want to see anything else, just go ahead and leave it in the comments and I'll be happy to help. And so yeah, so thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you back again. Bye.